This is part 94 of ASP.NET MVC tutorial. In this video, we'll discuss providing visual feedback using LoadingElementId AjaxOption. This is continuation to part 93, so please watch part 93 before proceeding. One of the problems with partial page updates is that they do not provide any visual feedback if the request is taking a long time to process. With full page postbacks, we don't have this problem because the entire page is posted to the server and hence the user knows that something is happening. For example, let's say a request in our Ajax enabled application takes 10 seconds to complete. When the user clicks the button, and if we don't provide him with any visual feedback that the request is still being processed, then the user may think that the website is not working and he may click the button again. So it's very important that we provide some visual feedback. Let's understand this with an example. So this is the application that we have been working with in the previous sessions. Now look at this. At the moment when I click this all link, we get the result instantaneously, so this is not a problem. But let's try and introduce some latency. So let's use system.threading.sleep and let's make the current thread sleep maybe for 3 seconds. So system.threading.thread.sleep, and we have to specify the time in milliseconds. So if we want the thread to sleep for 4 seconds, then we have to specify 4000 milliseconds. So let's do it for all action method, top 3 action method, and bottom 3 action method. Okay, so let's run this once again. And now when we click on a link, it's going to take at least 4 seconds to load. Look at this. When I click all, it's going to take 4 seconds. Now since this is a partial page post back, the entire page doesn't get posted back to the server. So that's why the user doesn't know whether if the request is being processed or whether the application is not working. Look at this. When I click on top 3, now there is no clue on if the request is still being processed. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to provide some form of visual feedback to the user, so that he knows the request is still being processed. Okay, so for example, maybe I want to display an image like this. So when I click on a link, I want to display an image like this, so which indicates that the request is being processed. And then as soon as the server completed processing, we want to immediately load the data. So let's see how to achieve that. Okay, the first step is obviously I need this image. So I have already downloaded that onto my machine. So within the C:\images, I have this animated GIF image. Now if you want to create these animated spinner GIF images, here's a very good website that I have come across, spiffygif.com. Okay, so that website allows you to create animated spinner images. Okay, let's say for example, if you want the size of those arrows to increase, you can customize and then you can download that image using this link. Alright, so after you have downloaded the image, create images folder within your MVC application, and let's copy this image into that folder. Okay, so that's the first step. And the second step is on the index view, I'm going to create a div tag. Okay, so basically I want the image to be appearing just above the table where we display the students. Okay, so I'm going to include a div tag here, and then let's give it an ID. Maybe let's call it div loading. And then we need to set style to display :none because we don't want this to be initially displayed. Okay, display :none. And then inside this div tag, I'm going to use an image element, and I'm going to set source to ~/ images directory, and within that, what's the name of our image? Spinner.gif. So let's specify the source here. Alright. So that's the second step. Include a div tag, give it an ID, and set the initial display to none, and then use an image tag, specify the source. And then within our Ajax action link, we have this Ajax option object. It has got this property LoadingElementId. Okay, so the loading element ID should be set to the ID of this div. Okay, so let's take this div and set it here. Okay, so let's copy this and paste it with the other Ajax action links. That's all there to it. So let's save everything. Let's go ahead and run this now. Okay, so let's click top 3. Look at that, we have the image rotating, which indicates to the user that the request is being processed. And look at this, when I click bottom 3, the image is again rotating, and then as soon as the request finishes processing, I get bottom 3. If I click all, the same idea. Okay, but then let's say, for example, I have all students here. When I click top 3, I want to clear this result, whatever result that's present here, and then I just want to show this image. Okay, so how to achieve that, we'll discuss that in our next video session. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.